What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the Go M.A.D podcast. I am your host, Christopher, and welcome back, guys. This is now the season finale, and I really can't believe this is now season 2 that I'm ending, and I've been about 28 episodes in. I had to look it up. I was like, how many episodes have I done? And I just noticed 28 episodes. That's insane. Like, I really just, I'm so grateful for to God and for so many other things and people in my life, to be able to have 28 episodes now, being committed and consistent to this vision, to this dream that I had. And I'm really just so happy. I'm really happy to have made to be where I am now. And it's crazy to see this here, like 28 episodes. It sounds crazy to me, and I'm just really happy to be here. And I know I haven't posted. It's been I took like a week break. It wasn't really an intentional break. You guys know that I'm aiming to be as consistent as possible, because I know many times before I've started something and fallen off, and I wanted to make sure this was something that I'm actually passionate about, and I wanted to stick to it. So um I really wasn't an intentional break, as I mentioned to you guys, like in my previous episode and from my live that I did not too long ago. I've been trying to meet with certain people, and there's just constantly things coming up, and I ended up having to like cancel last week's episode because of that. So I was trying to do something different for the last episode this time, and the same thing kept happening where things were coming up, and I didn't want to, I'm not blaming anyone. It's just circumstances happen. And I understand that I'm not just going to, sit back and just let these situations keep going. I have to record, and I have to, do my part and stay consistent and record and still be able to take action for myself to grow and help you guys grow as well. So that's why I'm recording now. A lot of things during this season hasn't really gone to plan, as well as there has been a lot of things this season that has worked well. So that's kind of like what I wanted to talk about today. This is our finale, our season finale. And for those of you who have actually stuck through the whole season and have kept up with everything, I really hope this season has really impacted you guys in our summer season to grow, to really spend the time that when the weather is hot, and it's a season where all our things are at its peak, and it's very hot, very intense season where we put in action, we're going out doing all these things. I really hope in this season, as you listen, that you've been able to grow. And if you haven't been able to catch up with the whole season 2, or even just from season 1 as well, I really urge you guys to go listen to those episodes. It's a lot of things that even I literally, like, last week probably I was like struggling with different things, and I had to listen to my own podcast. I was like, didn't I do an episode on this? Let me listen to my own to my own episode to see what I had to say about this. And I learned from myself. I literally learned from myself. And I know it could be so helpful for you as well. So catch up with season 2 if you haven't already. As today as our finale, what I just kind of wanted to go through is just an evaluation process. So in these first 4 seasons that I'll be doing for this first year of this podcast, I'll be kind of having a similar structure at the end of every season. The theme of every season will be different. At the end, we'll have the same kind of breakdown where we will sit down together and go over this season that just passed, and we can both from my standpoint, and then you as well, as you're listening to this or watching this, you can answer this for yourself and evaluate yourself as well. And we can kind of go over how this season, how this last quarter, how these last few months have gone by, what went well, what worked, and what didn't work. So in doing that, I know, as I mentioned to you guys before, something that I used to do, that I still do, and I did it right before I was recording here to make sure that I had all the accuracy and be as accurate as I possibly could. I use my planner a lot, especially during when I'm like setting up my quarterly goals, because my planner has it's split up. There's sections where you can plan quarterly goals and plan the next few months and really like chart things out. So I use that so much, and it's really so helpful. So literally right before I started recording, I was working on that and just really looking over the last 3 months and kind of like seeing where my mind was 3 months ago, what notes I took, what was I planning to accomplish. So just kind of going over those notes, and then as I look back, I see, what did go through, what I was able to accomplish, and some things that didn't go through, um, and what I can do, this quarter coming up to improve and work towards something better. So that's what I want to work with you guys today as well. So as I did that, now I want to work with that you guys as well. So I want you guys to really just think about the last few months. If you have been growing, and you've been trying to seek your passion and really making the best of this summer season that just passed by, and taking the effort to grow, maximize your passion, and really have fun, really enjoy the time and your passions, and just make the best of it. I want us to evaluate the last few months and how it has gone. So one question that I want to ask, it's gonna be three different very basic questions that I want to ask. The first question I want to ask is what went well. So what ended up working out for you? So if you were able from the beginning of the season or the previous season, if you were able to plan the next few months and you had specific things that you wanted to accomplish, how many of those things did you actually get to accomplish? How many of those things went well in this summer season of your passion, of the things you wanted to do? What things ended up working out? What things went well? If you want, you can pause it right now as I'm asking that question, and just go ahead and answer that. For me, just some different things uh that really worked well. I really noticed the difference from recording and editing and stuff from season 1 to season 2. I can tell you guys from personal experience. I want you guys to receive from me as well what actually worked for me. So from season 1, I went from doing everything very simple, because as you guys know, I just wanted to get started and I didn't want to procrastinate. So I started with the simplest things ever, the simplest tools and features. Like I use Anchor for everything, the Anchor app, which you'll probably hear that ad soon. Um, I was using that for everything, and it made everything so simple, very easy to get started. And so once I was able to stay consistent, and I was able to get on a roll now for season 2, my goal was to improve that quality and produce even better quality videos and audio, especially since I didn't have video at that time. So I was working on that, and obviously, as you guys can see now, you're watching this, so this is evidence of me being consistent, of taking the next step. So that was something that I wanted to do, that I wanted to, improve the quality of the video, get more into editing, because literally from the first season, I literally didn't edit nothing. It was so simple, guys. I literally recorded audio, finished recording, made the little transitions and everything, posted it on the Anchor app. It posted everything, distributed everything to all the platforms. Boom, I was done. Took me like maybe an hour to do everything. So I wanted to take it a step further, because I wanted to, as I told you guys just now, I wanted to improve the quality of the sound of my voice, which I got with updating all this equipment that you see now. This is all stuff that I upgraded to, that I got to improve the quality of the podcast. And I started studying more on editing. I had my friend Brian. Brian was helping me out so much, and I really appreciate him for that. In the beginning, he was helping me out with that. So I was learning how to edit and do things, and then I just started to kind of take my own path and study myself. I didn't want to burden anybody, so I had help, and I tried to see how I can learn on my own. So I started to learn how to edit a little bit better, how to use platforms like Premiere Pro and stuff that I've never used before, and really get accustomed to it. Started editing more, started uploading videos consistently, using YouTube a little bit more. And I don't know if you want to compare, if you're listening to this episode right now, listen to how you're listening to my voice right now, and then go back to like my very first episode that I released this year, and just compare. It's a huge difference. So I really noticed the difference. So that's something that really did go well for me. Is me being able to take a step further in improving the quality of me thinking about what can I do better this season and this season 2 that we're in right now. And that's what I started to work on, improving the quality of the video and editing. Something else that I enjoyed also as well is and that's what I talked about at the beginning, is the consistency. Like, what I really um wanted to make sure that that this wasn't just something that was like, oh yeah, for fun. Like, I like, this was something that was on my heart and my mind. For all of you who have been keeping up with the podcast, you guys already know my story with this. Like, this is something that I love, so I wanted to make sure that it was something that really stuck through, and I continue to think about the purpose, what I wanted to accomplish, what my vision was, and really execute it and stay committed to it. So something that I really enjoyed this season as well is the consistency that I've been able to keep up with for myself. Um, and obviously, you guys already know, since I missed uh last week's episode, there was no episode. That was literally the only weekend. It was driving me so crazy because I wanted to stay consistent. I didn't want to get comfortable and then just be like, you know what, nah. I wanted to stay committed. So that was my bad for not releasing last week, for not staying consistent. Other than that, I've been really trying to stay consistent and make that a big factor for me to stay consistent. And if things come up, then I have to work out a way to improve and improve more and more. So that's something that was really working out very well, because it was my passion and I wanted to stay committed with it. So that's something that I hope for you guys as well. Things might have not worked out, as you planned. And the important thing is that if it's your passion, like, really stick through to it. Like, really stay committed with it, stay consistent with it, and work through it. It really, like, pays off in the end, and it's such a great feeling when you just get to just enjoy and do what you love, and you just really get to delight in that and have fun with that. So as you're thinking about the things that really worked, like, really, show the gratitude first to to those that were around you, those who helped you get started, and think about those people, um and just think about those things. Something really important is, like, as I mentioned for myself, is to just stay consistent with it. Like, really, like, in this patch, like, in what you want to do and what you love to do and whatever your passion is, like, really think about it and think about what you want to accomplish behind that, what your purpose is behind that, what you hope to, like, see yourself, like, what you see yourself accomplishing in the end, on the other side of what you're doing or what you want to start doing. And continually seek that, and ask yourself how you can take action on it and execute that, and just get started. Like, take it from me. I started, my podcast, and it wasn't the greatest quality. There was no video, nothing like that. The important thing for me was that I just got started. And as I started to build that consistency and get used to the flow and really get into it, then I started to work on, getting better quality, adding video, learning to edit, stuff like that. The more detailed things that come later on. So don't focus so much on so many different details. Focus on just the purpose, what you want to accomplish, and just get started. Look at what you have right now within your grasp, like, whatever you have whatever you can control, whatever resources you have now, and just get started with that, and make it, and, like, roll with it. Just go with it, and just week after week, day after day, just develop a consistency that you can work on towards that. And as time goes on, then you start to improve yourself, work on the fine little details, and fine tune those things, the important things, that you get started, and then you just start moving forward. So as we're thinking about those things that went well, there are some things that didn't go well. So that's my second question. So the first question was just asking you guys, and something that I had to ask myself is, what went well. What did work. So the second question that I asked myself, that I want to ask you guys as well, is what stretched you? What stretched you this summer? And I've asked this question before, and it's a question that I'll continually ask at the end of every season, is to really think about what stretched you. And by that I mean, what are some things that you noticed this season that kind of, like, stretched you out, or where you might have felt burnt out, or where you might have felt stressed out? What are some things that got you to that point in this season? Um, think about those things. For me, some big things for me was I started to like lose track of, like being organized and prioritizing. So I really started to fall off track with that. So like, um, I think it started because, as I was getting like on a roll with this, I was really having fun, and I was like, all right, I got this. So then I was like, okay, so since I feel like I'm doing well, I started to try to like start different things. So something else that I really love to do is I love to, play video games. I love to, do gaming with my friends, and we have fun. There's a lot of funny moments that we have. So then I was like, you know what, let me just start streaming. And I started uploading video clips of like me playing video games with my friends, and I started to do that. And I was like, and I wasn't as serious with that as I was with this. That was really something that I was doing for fun. So I just, didn't have a plan for that, and I didn't want to have a plan because obviously my mind is focused on growing in this. So in the back of my mind, I was thinking, oh, this is just something on the side. I'll just, here and there, just, upload things, stream here and there. So I tried to do that, and I noticed, like, I think it was like the first week or the week after that, I started to add that to my calendar. Time to record, and then time to stream, time to, intentionally play video games, to upload clips, so on and so forth. Like, I started to notice, like, my time was going crazy. Like, my time was going by so fast, and I started to notice, like, yo, I ain't got time for anything, because I had my job that I had, and then I have recording with this, and then also trying to deal with gaming. And then even my wife had to call me out on that, and I'm glad she did, because I had to kind of like take a step back, and realize, I was like, oh, hold up, I need to take a little step by step. So um it wasn't really that I stopped. Well, yeah, I stopped doing it. So um I had to tell myself, no, like, stick with this, until you see where it goes, and then when you see that you actually have more time, then you can add these other things. That's what I was telling myself. So I wasn't like, I was, um like, what's the word, I wasn't like being hard on myself and just stopped playing. I still play video games. I just don't, upload clips or stream or anything like that, unless I feel like I have like a lot of extra time. Then I would, upload a clip or something like that. Other than that, though, I haven't really stuck through with it, because it was taking time away from everything else, especially in time with my relationships and stuff. So I didn't want to get carried away with that too much. So that's why I stopped doing it. So I was struggling a lot with doing so many different things. So and another thing that I was really struggling with was with like organization. Like, in the beginning, I was using a lot of my calendar, and really, setting reminders and stuff like that. So I started to kind of like lose track of that, and I noticed, like, literally the last few weeks have been so crazy. And like, there's been like different events that were coming up, and people would be like, hey, let's do this, and I'd be like, yeah, I think I'll be good. And then we plan those things out, and then I realized something was coming up. And I think I talked about this in my last episode, but that was one of the things that I was struggling with as well. That I would just, be down to do all these things, and I never, I didn't have all my different areas. I didn't have everything organized, so I would say yes to one thing, and then realize, holy crap, wait, I gotta do this thing now. And then, or I'll say yes, and be like, yeah, I can do this, and then I realize, wait, I gotta do this day. I remember I have to do this. So I realized that I was struggling a lot with that, and I had to like really like sit down and kind of like start to. As soon as I started notice, because a lot of conflicts ended up coming because as a result of those things, so I had to really evaluate myself and really embrace that challenge and be like, okay, I'm struggling with this. What can I do to get better? So I just started to work on that plan, and starting to improve. So um, it was definitely fun. It was definitely fun to do that. And, what's good to realize is that, things will never go as planned. So I want you to realize that right now. Whatever you thought you were going to accomplish, I hope there were some things that you were able to accomplish. And I want you to understand that it's okay when things don't go according to plan, because no matter what, there's always going to be certain things that we just cannot control. Like, we cannot control everything. There's only certain things within our own lives that we can control. So things will always like end up like not going through, not following through. Like, as I told you guys, I was trying to plan a like meeting with someone, and have a and recording with someone else, with a guest that I was trying to get on, and it just didn't work out. Just didn't wasn't working out over and over again, and things like that happen. The important thing is that you evaluate those things, see why it's not working out, and then just still move forward. Like, just keep taking action. Don't stay back, and then just wait for something to happen. Just keep moving forward, and keep working on that, and just work out our plan to continue, and just understand that things will never always go as planned. So the best that you can do is just go with the circumstance, expect things to go wrong, and then prepare for you to improve behind, and see those situations, see those obstacles, and turn them into opportunities that will help you grow for the future. So that's what I use those situations for. So I want you to think about that right now. Think about what are some things that didn't go well. And you can go ahead and pause this as well as I ask that question, as you find the answer for that, and evaluate yourself on that. So what are some things that didn't go well? No, and think about those things right now. Think about some things that maybe didn't go according to plan. Maybe some things that stressed you out a little bit, or you realize you were doing too much, or some areas where you felt like you might have been burnt out. And before you cut those things off, ask yourself why you were feeling burnt out, and start to evaluate your priorities again, and really sit down, because this is what I had to do. I had to sit down and look at everything and be like, okay, I really gotta work on this. So the last thing I want to ask you guys is, what are some action steps that you're going to take to improve? So on the things that didn't work out, so think of these two things. So think on the things that didn't work out this last season, and what you want to work out for this next season coming up. What are some things, an area, or make a list of things that you want to work on to improve? And what are some things that you're going to do today to work on those things? And pause this right now and write those things down. If you have your phone on you, pause it right now on your phone. Hold your button and either talk to Siri or talk to Google, whatever you got, and tell her, take a note and start to write things down, or speak it, voice memo, whatever you got to do. Just write that down now. That way you can track yourself, evaluate yourself, and prepare yourself to grow, right? To get better. So make a list of those things that you're willing to do to improve, some action steps that you want to take to start to take the next step now as we enter into our next season, and make a list of those things, and let's move forward, guys. This next season, well, this past season has been amazing, and I just want to take a second to just thank everyone. Thank my wife for just helping me stay consistent and keeping me organized. I want to give a shout out to the guests that I've had here this season. I've had my close friend Kevin, as well as one of my close friends as well, Carlos, Chef Carlos, future Chef Carlos, and also I want to thank those who helped me get set up. Brian, who really helped me with setting up everything, really helped me with editing and stuff like that. I'm so grateful for him for helping me set up. So I'm grateful for you, bro. And just a huge shout out for everyone who has been listening, and just tuning in. And I hope that I appreciate you guys listening, and I hope that you guys take the step further by actually listening to this and taking action on it, because in the end, what I want is for you guys to grow. I don't want you guys to just listen to me just to listen. I want you guys to be better. I want you to be at your very best, and just knowing that I can be a part of your success story is all I need. So I'm grateful for all of you guys who have stuck through this whole season. Now for this next season coming up, we're entering into our autumn or fall season. So this next season is going to be a lot about evaluating ourselves, giving thanks, for the things that has happened, and it's really going to be a season of consistency. really working on consistency. And now really, like, as things starts to cool down, as far as nature goes, as the weather starts to cool down and things start and the leaves start to fall and things start to look very, beautiful, it's going to be our season to kind of cool down and start to go on a roll and start to get consistent, start to cool down and work on different plans as we start to wind down in this year and prepare for the year to come. So thank you guys once again for listening, for everything. I want you guys to push through. And, you guys can follow me on all social media platforms. You can follow me on Instagram at Go M.A.D Official. You can also follow me at my personal Instagram page at Chris Go M.A.D. You can find me on Twitter at Chrisito is mad and on Facebook as well. All this equipment, guys, that I got this season, you can find it in my YouTube description and also on all the platforms wherever you're listening to this. There will be a link that you can click on if you're interested in any of this equipment. You can click those links and get yourself set up. Honestly, just take action, guys. Just get started. It's been an amazing journey in this season too, guys. I'm going to take about a week break before I post for the next season. So I hope you guys can catch up in the meantime with all this season, and I'm really excited for what's to come, guys, and I'm really excited to be a part of your success journey. So as we continue to grow and invest in ourselves and learn how we can be our best and show others how to do the same, we can all go mad. I'll catch you guys in the next one.